before we bow in. But when you reach Shodan, Shodan is the achievement of a physical level.
Sensei. Talk to
The physical level of karate is the part that Yoshi Burnett, Sensei Kreitzer, Shihan Colgan, myself, is the part that we dream about. It's the part where you learn, where you go through a physical transformation. When you reach Shodan, it means that you have achieved a certain amount of physical perfection. That perfection will go on as long as you want it to go on. As you get up into a higher rank, over 4th Dan, 7th Dan like Yoshi Burnett, 3rd Dan like Mr. Kreitzer, there's a different transformation. That transformation is a mental, spiritual, giving back.
You okay? Anthony? Hey.
Trust and respect.
So what you learn as you go on is you learn that the important part about karate, the important part about the martial arts, is that at every level, everything that you experience, the wonderful part about karate is I've been doing karate for 40 years in May. I know it only looks like I've been doing it for 39. But I've been doing it for 40 years. I am as excited today to be around the people that I'm having the pleasure of meeting and working with and learning from. Your review board was a 7 or 8 hour review board Saturday. During and through that, Yoshi Burnett taught me things. We shared things. Shem Colgan shared things with me, taught things with me. That's what excites a true martial artist as you go on through the journey, and it is a journey. You run across people who are dedicated to it, people who have been doing it. I'm not exactly certain how long Yoshi Burnett, but I imagine it's 30, 35 years. It's 36 years. It's 38 years. Okay, so between him and I, we almost have a century. Okay? But when I meet men of integrity and character and spirit, I get excited. Saturday, the review board, to me, was like the first time that I ever stepped onto a dojo floor. So enjoy the journey. Let's bow in.
Yes, sir. Kiski! César!
Tell me, Gray? Anthony, Ray?
Trust and respect. So, Yamei. Tachi.
Okay. Relax, everybody for a minute. What we're gonna do this evening is, I said, this is gonna be kind of a little eclectic class. We're gonna do the very most important thing, the single most important technique you have in karate. The single most important technique you have is your forward punch. Seikenzuki, Yakuzuki, Oizuki. It's the most important strike you have.
Yes, sir.
And the reason it is, because everything that you learn in karate, everything that you learn depends on focus, hip movement, transfer of power, balance. This. So we all think that we learn that strike, especially higher ranks. I know that. Once again, I'll refer to 40 years that I've been doing it. I do a minimum of 500 of those strikes during the week when I train in the mornings. A minimum. Last week I did 1,130. I know because my elbow is still sore. So, once again,
Just respect.
in the strike, you remember we were talking about kicks and the three most important elements of a kick, which are elevation, penetration, and recoil. That's what comprises a kick. I can't kick Mr. Kreitzer in the solar plexus by picking my knee up to here. Unless it's an intentional technique, I wouldn't want to do this. Because I'm sure somewhere along the line there, Mr. Kreitzer would rearrange me. So the kick is elevation, penetration, recoil, and you hold your balance. In a punch, punches are directional, as all strikes are directional. In that direction, you must learn how to do three things. Chamber correctly, initiate the strike, and retract the strike. Zukiwaza punching techniques. If you throw a strike incorrectly and you get jammed somewhere in the middle, let me show you what happens. If I were looking to get Mr. Kreitzer here, if I was looking to get Mr. Kreitzer right here with my strike, and I threw my elbow out, and Mr. Kreitzer jammed me, I would be here. He would push on me, he would overpower me and move me. Why would that happen? That would happen because I would try to do this with my punch. I really want to hit him, and I'm going to do this. So if my strike emanates from here, it is incorrect. If I take Mr. Kreitzer here and I ask him to make a Seiken fist, and he tries to throw that, and I push him from here, watch what happens to his balance. He lost his balance. If I take him from here, okay, but if I take him from here, this strike emanates from the fist. Do you see what happens? Do you see how it's a perfect cylinder? You know what a cardboard cylinder looks like? You have a cardboard roll, you've seen them, like Christmas papers in them, and the inside of it spirals.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's what your strike does. Your strike does not do this. Your strike does not do this. Your strike does this. It emanates from here. When the strike comes out, the twist is at the end of the strike. It is not here. So it's much the same as a whip. A whip goes shh, pow. My strike does here. The power is emanated at the end with a fast twist. How does my strike come back? My strike emanates from here. My strike comes back from here. You pull your strike back with your elbow. I'm here, strike. I pull it back with my elbow. By pulling it back with my elbow, I'm a little hoarse, it's because I'm sick. What does it do? You'll see hip movement, you'll see speed and balance. So by learning how to throw your strike from here, the second most important part to the strike is that in karate we strike with our knuckles, our first two knuckles. The power band, as I call it on that, is 70% on your front knuckle, 30% on your second knuckle. If you try to hit with both knuckles, you will hit with your center knuckle. Sensei Colgan is very surgical in what he does. Kiyoshi Burnett is very surgical. I worked with him the other days. You can see that. That was just, he was just playing with me a little bit. Just let me know for sure that he can still hurt me. So if I were to try to hit Sensei Kreutzer in the nose, and I was pointing at him, I wouldn't point at him like this, would I?
No, sir.
No, sir.
If I was trying to catch him on the tip of the chin, I wouldn't do it like this, would I?
No, sir.
So the point technique is to point. And if I point, it does all the things that make my strike effective. It flattens my fist out. It gives me direction and strength in my wrist. And it gives me the correct area of penetration. So that if I'm going to strike here, I'm here. I'm here. Kidney, liver, my anatomy's mixed up. So when you strike, what you want to learn to do is, if you take your fist and you strike from here, and you let that fist come out, left hand straight out, fist.